What's going on, everybody? The Original Mako back with some more Gunfire Reborn content, and today we're doing a completely new tier list that we haven't done before. I'm going to be doing a tier list for each different character and their ascensions for each character, so it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I want to do a scroll one soon, but I'm still working on getting a scroll one together that has all the new scrolls in it. I can only find ones that have all the old scrolls, so I'm going to probably just end up having to make my own. But that being said, we're going to do the ascensions for each character. We're going to go in order, so I'm going to go cat, dog, bird, tiger. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Past 1,000 subscribers, but that we don't stop there. We're going to keep pushing. And then check out the links in the description. Twitch.tv/TheOriginalMako. I'm live Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then check out the second YouTube channel as well. Going to be a lot more active there. A lot of Valheim content if you're into that. Enough shameless self-promotion. Let's go ahead and just hop in here. And we're going to go overlay off for the tier lists. So, starting with the Cat's Ascensions, I guess I will just kind of go in order because I feel like that probably makes the most sense, right? So first things first, right here, we have Acidic Smoke, or Acidic Explosion. Enemies affected by smoke grenades explode after dying. Obviously, all these character Ascension tier lists are going to be pretty biased for how I like to play the character. There are going to be some that might be better overall, but each character has a bunch of different ways of playing, but this is just for, in my opinion. So just wanted to clarify that first. Enemies affected by smoke grenades explode. I'm going to put it right in the middle. It's not great. Well, actually, I'm going to put it at D because it's not great. There's not a ton of like synergies you can get around it. I mean, if you affect an enemy with a smoke grenade, you kill them, they're going to explode, do a little extra damage. That's about it. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too wild, nothing too ultra exciting. Next up, we have Acid Dominance, which is going to go in the S tier. Because of its tier 3, I mean, obviously, the cat's all about elemental damage. My favorite way to play the cat is with the dual fang, so Acid Dominance is obviously pretty important. But no matter what weapon you have, if you get it to tier 3, then when you crit an enemy, you'll create smoke, which is the equivalent of an exploding smoke grenade. So having just an on-command smoke grenade for every enemy you crit, kind of really good. So definitely S tier for Acid Dominance, mainly because I like to build elemental synergies on the cat anyways. So you're going to want all the elemental dominances, but its tier 3 is amazing, even if you don't have an elemental weapon. That being said, next up we have Advanced Shield. So after casting an Energy Orb, you get extra shield recharge speed for a certain amount of time. And on the tier 3, shield recharge can't be interrupted once it begins. We're going to put it at C. It's okay. Shield recharging faster is always nice, but it's nothing super crazy. Works well with a couple of the other orb synergies. Obviously, that's kind of how it was meant to be. So it's good. It's nothing wild, but it's not bad either. Next up, Backpack Expansion. Essentially just more grenades you can hold at a time. This is also going to go C. No, this is going to go B. We're gonna put this in B because smoke grenades are kind of like a big factor to why the cat's very good. You always have decay elemental damage that you can do, assuming you have grenades. A couple of these other ascensions work really well with your grenades. So consistently having those grenades is really nice, and the more grenades you can carry, the less likely you are to run out of grenades. So it's really nice. Nice little B tier ascension there. Next up, we have Blinding Sphere. So it's Energy Orb gets more AoE, damage and control effects bypass barriers. This one's going to go in C. It's okay. It's good if you're trying to work your orb synergy, obviously. The AoE on the orb isn't too crazy. It's not like at least for me personally, it's never been a main focus of one of my runs. So it's just going to kind of sit there and see. It's okay. It's good. You know, I wouldn't be like real upset if I get it, but I'm not going to be like foaming at the mouth to try to get Energy Sphere or Blinding Sphere at any point. Next up, we have, which one is that? That one's Electro Dominance. They're so similar. Well, I guess that one has fire coming off of it, doesn't it? So that kind of makes sense. Electro Dominance is going to go A. It's not quite S tier. It's, extra shock damage, and then its tier 3 is 50% lucky shot chance against enemies in shock effect. So it's still, you have to have some sort of shock damage going for it to be really good, but it does go A tier. Once again, only reason I ever play the cat is if I want to build elements, and having elemental damage up is good if you're trying to build up elemental damage. So that's why I have it at A, but it's not quite S tier. Elemental Rage. Enemies under elemental effect, you'll deal more damage to enemies under elemental effect. This one's going S for pretty obvious reasons. If I'm making an elemental build, I want to be doing more damage against enemies who are in elemental effect. I feel like I don't have to explain that one very much. There's no extra effects. It's just a lot of extra damage against enemies who are elemental. And even if you don't have an elemental weapon right away, you still have your grenades that are doing decay damage, acid damage, so it's always good to have. Next up, we have Elemental Shield, which is, after using the smoke grenade, you get extra max shield and immunity to elemental effects. I'm going to put it in... oh boy. I'm going to put it in D, probably. I never go out of my way to get this if it's against pretty much any of the other Ascensions. I mean, extra shield's nice, but you only get it for a certain amount of time. You're also immune to elemental effects, which is kind of nice. But, I mean, there's a lot of scrolls in the game that give you immunity to elemental effects, so it's nothing too crazy, nothing too special. I'm going to keep it in the D category. Next up, Energy Blade. One of the only times I would use the cat besides elemental build is to do a lot of damage in one shot, until the new hero, obviously. So Energy Blade used to be really good. It's less exciting now, but still fun, still decent. I'm going to put it in B. If you don't know what it is, after casting your Energy Orb, you get huge increase in damage on your next shot, and deal some extra damage to enemies around the target. I'm going to put it in B. Mainly because it's only one shot. It's a ton of damage, but it's only one shot, so you just better hit it, you hit it anyway. But if you're using an automatic weapon, it's not great. It's only one shot. Pretty specific to a certain type of thing to do, but also very good if you're trying to do that certain thing. Next up, we have Energy Bolt. Energy Orb deals extra damage and a 30% chance to explode twice. This one is also going to go in B. Probably the best thing you can have that affects your Energy Orb. Having it explode multiple times is amazing. Having it do extra damage is really good. So putting it in B, I think it just feels... it's a really good Ascension to get on the cat. Next up, we have... what is this one called? Oh, jeez. I don't know. Oh, Smoke Genius. No, it's not Smoke Genius. That's Smoke Genius. They all look the same. This is unbelievable. I legitimately can't find it here. Hold on. Energy Echo. That's the one. Energy Orb has the same elemental type as the current weapon, and its elemental effect chance is 100%. So it can turn your Energy Orb into an elemental effect, and it's guaranteed to do that type of damage. We're going to put it in C. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not better than these, and it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to get more often than not. It can help a little bit with elemental synergies if you've really got one going and you just want to make sure you're getting that elemental effect. Obviously, it's a decent take, but nothing crazy. Next up, we have Enchantment, and no, Enhancement last. I got it right the first time. So it just makes the Energy Orb freeze enemies a bit longer. Oops. I'm going to put it in C as well. It's good. Having them frozen for longer means you can definitely get a crit hit on them if you're using a sniper or whatever. It means you're not going to get attacked for longer by whatever enemies you trap. It's pretty good, but it's not it's not going to do really well in a certain build or specific synergy to make it like over the top or anything. And I don't think it's quite as good as any of these, but it's decent. It's not terrible. Next up, one of the best Ascensions for a specific hero in the game. Hex Smoke is going S tier without a doubt. Basically, your smoke grenades make enemies deal less damage and you deal more damage to them. One of the best Ascensions just in the game in general. I mean, it works solo, co-op. There's never a reason to not be trying to get your Hex Smoke to tier 3, no matter what kind of build you're doing. It doesn't matter. You want Hex Smoke pretty much every single time. So, Hex Smoke, God tier, S, 100%. It is the best Ascension on the cat, hands down. Next up, Energy Orb has 1, 2, 5 more charges. So just more charges for the Energy Orb. This is going to go in C as well. I think it's just about as good as all the other orb synergies. These two are a little bit better, but it gives you more orbs, more enemies you can freeze, more damage you can do potentially depending on your other Ascensions. If you're building an orb-specific build, then obviously that's like a must-have, but not bad, pretty good. You can get up to 5 more charges, which is crazy, so definitely worth looking into. Pyro Dominance is going to get the nod to S tier because, and solely because, whenever I play the cat, I almost always go for dual Fang runs, and you really want Pyro Dominance for dual Fang because obviously the dual Fang does fire damage. Obviously, the tier 3 for Pyro Dominance is you double the burning damage and double explosion damage, which is the fusion effect for decay and fire. So having those two things combined, really, really good. Doubles the damage, amazing with dual Fang, must have, must get. That's why I'm putting it in S tier. Next up, we have Smoke Genius. Smoke grenades last longer and deal more damage, or do more damage over time. That's gonna go D. It's not. It's really not that good. I wouldn't specifically get it on the cat. I can think of very few runs where I'm like, oh, good, Smoke Genius. That's exciting. So it's kind of just underwhelming, just like these two are. So that's why it's going to go at the bottom in the D category. Next, Toxic Smoke. Smoke grenades deal just increased amount of damage. Gonna kind of keep it the same thing. The reason the smoke grenades are good is not because they do a lot of damage. It's more for the elemental effect. And Hex Smoke. So all the other buffs to them aren't great unless you're going for a super heavy grenade build, but that's just not something I've never really wanted to do and never had a big interest in, so most of the smoke Ascensions don't really entice me very much. And then the last one, Wildfire. After killing an enemy that has an elemental effect, you increase your rate of fire for 6 seconds. Wildfire is going A. If I'm doing an elemental build, rate of fire equals more DPS, more elemental damage, all that type of stuff. So that's why I'm going to have that in the A category. Really good one to have pretty much at all times, because once again, even if you don't have an elemental weapon, your smoke grenades are going to be dealing decay damage as well. That being said, that is it for the cat. This is what we have. I don't think the cat has anything that's quite F tier. I don't know if many heroes have an Ascension that's just absolute garbage. You should never take it. But definitely some that are better than others, and definitely a decent amount in the C and D categories. I really didn't think that was going to take 15 minutes, so I think I'm going to split the different characters into different videos. So, that being said, this is going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll have the dog soon, the bird soon, and then the tiger soon as well. But I really appreciate the support recently, guys. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, check out Twitch, check out the second YouTube, check out the Discord while you're at it, because why the hell not? You're looking at all the other stuff. So might as well check that out as well. So thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I love each and every one of your faces, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.